Good morning. Happy spring. It's here. Yesterday was the first day of spring. I wanted to do a video, but I was slam packed and couldn't get it done. I'm in here in the kitchen this morning and I'm making some tenderloin. Frying some tenderloin for breakfast. Got a few more to go here. I am so excited about spring and I have some surprises coming up. There's something that I've been wanting outside in the garden for several years, and I've mentioned it to you several times of what it was going to be. But I'm going to take you out there and show you that we finally got it. I don't know if they'll get to work on it today or not, but if they do, then I'll be really excited. I'm excited just to have it because it's something that I've planned for a while. And I'll take you out there and show you that. First, I've got to get some breakfast. I've got some tenderloin cooking. I'm going to make eggs. Donald's drinking his coffee this morning, and I've got my tea sampler out that I got from Harney & Sons. Now, it came in a cardboard packaging with Harney & Sons logo and everything, and I just put it in this tea container that I got from Amazon. I'm trying to decide what kind of tea I want this morning. There's lemon herbal. Oh, that sounds good. Got a lot of different teas in here. And I'm not sure which one I want this morning. That looks good. Organic green tea with citrus and ginger. These are the breakfast teas. This is what I've been having a lot of lately. I really like this. Organic Earl Grey Supreme. So that's one I've been having quite a bit here lately. And here is English breakfast tea. I think since it's morning, I'll have the English breakfast tea. So much fun to look at these beautiful colored tea bags and to pick out one. Of course, I'm going to drink out of my spring cup, and my teapot is ready. You put my tea bag in here. Get my tea going. It'll make my morning go a little better. Now this is Saturday morning, so Donald's here. The help is coming with the project that I've talked to you about. Now, I just bought a tenderloin at Sam's, and I've sliced it up into 3 sections. The first night, I made pork chops out of it. This second go round here, I'm just, I made chops and baked them in the oven with some spices. They were really good that first time. This time, I'm just cooking these here in the pan and having them, the meat, that's our meat for breakfast instead of bacon. And then I'm going to make some eggs and some toast. I'm not going to make biscuits because that would be a little more time consuming, but delicious. I don't know, I might make biscuits. Now that I'm thinking about them, I bought that jelly from Sam's. Let me wash my hands where I've touched this meat. Now normally I make my biscuits with all-purpose flour, and I just use baking soda and salt and everything in it, baking powder. But this morning I'm just going to go ahead and use self-rising flour because it's easier for me. And I don't have to add as many ingredients. I'll be able to whip these biscuits up faster. This is a 2-cup measure. I'm going to double the batch. So that's 4 cups of self-rising flour I got right there. You can put whatever kind of fat you use. Some people use straight butter, some people use other things. I do have buttermilk today. I'm going to go ahead and get this worked in. Now, you know, I do know how to make traditional Appalachian biscuits where you work it in with your hands. This is a bench paddle. I got it off of Amazon. They're very extremely affordable, and it just helps me get this cut in a little faster when I'm cooking for the family. I've got 2 of my grandkids here today, and of course Donald's here. I'm going to cut this shortening in to about the size of peas. And this bacon grease. Now that I've got the flour all cut up in here, I'm going to go ahead and add my buttermilk. I want to say it's about 2 cups. It might be more than that. Since I'm making a double batch. You know, how much moisture your biscuits take depends on what's going on in the air. Some days it may take more, some days it may take less. Get this buttermilk shook up. Looked like nothing but the whey was coming out. There we go. Now if you notice, I'm using a spoon to mix up. Normally I would use my hands, but I'm trying to make things go a little bit faster this morning. Now remember, you don't want to knead biscuits. You don't even want to mix them too much because they're not bread as far as like light bread goes. The biscuits are just kind of a rough form. And if you knead them too much, the texture will not be a biscuit texture. It'll go south. Hope you can see there. Got a dark pan here because the darker your pan, the darker your baked goods. The darker the biscuits will get. I'm going to go ahead and get these patted out. Get them in the oven and get them baked up for us. They are cat head biscuits. Size of a common house cat, not a mountain lion, not a panther. But you can make them like a mountain lion or a panther if you like the really huge biscuits. But cat heads are generally the size of a cat, little house cat or barn cat. I've saw some cat head biscuits, people call them, that was as big as a pone of bread. It was a whole frying pan, one biscuit. So that's what we call a pone of bread. And I've got a video on how to make cat's head biscuits versus pone bread. If you're interested in that, pone bread, some people call it biscuit bread, and we never called it that. It was pone bread in our house, in our household. Fried bread is a whole different thing. It's got a whole different texture. We made fried bread too, but that's a whole different thing. You could make a pone of biscuit dough. You could make a pone of cornbread. But basically any big frying pan sized bread was a pone. My husband, he likes the biscuits kind of medium to small. They grew up with tiny biscuits in their house, and we called those preacher biscuits because that's what you made when the preacher came. He got tiny biscuits. I guess maybe they're more of a delicacy. Our household made cat's head biscuits because, you know, they always took the leftover meat, which I'm going to have to stop in the middle of this and put the meat over on the frying pan. That's on the frying pan over there. I'm going to have to move it. I want it done, but I do not want it to burn. I had to tap out on the biscuits for a minute so I could go ahead and get this tenderloin done. Donald has a lot to do, so he said he might just go ahead and eat a tenderloin biscuit instead of a plate this morning. And of course that would be perfectly okay. However he wants to eat it's fine with me. Okay. don't have a running biscuit bowl like my family did growing up, because I don't make biscuits every day or several times a day like they did. I just make biscuits every now and then with a meal. But they had a running flour bowl. If you saw my video on how to make authentic Appalachian biscuits, then you'll know what I'm talking about. I'm going to get these biscuits on in the oven. They'll be ready before we know it. Now I've got a few minutes here waiting on this pork loin to cook. It's looking really good. I got it salt and peppered really good. And by the time these biscuits get out, it'll be time to eat a pork loin biscuit, or just eat eggs, pork loin, and a biscuit. I got this strawberry preserves at Sam's. You probably, if you watch my last video, or maybe the video before that, you will see where I bought these at Sam's. They're really good. It's time for strawberry preserves. I don't make a lot of strawberry preserves because they're kind of finicky. You know, that fragile fruit, you got to really be careful. I can make strawberry jelly. It's not hard. It's just we usually eat our strawberries fresh, and then I buy that jelly right there. Sometimes I buy grape jelly at Sam's because it's priced so good and the kids love it. Grape jelly is one of their favorites, and strawberry is one of my favorites. I think my very favorite jelly, if I have to admit, is crabapple jelly and crabapple jam. That's my favorite. That was my dad's favorite. It's my favorite, and it's just one of the most unusually delicious jellies that I've ever tasted, and so I love it. Grew up with that, love it. But I do enjoy a good strawberry jelly, and homemade grape jelly, and pomegranate jelly. I mean, just so many. And the passion fruit jelly, I love that. And I've got to make the passion fruit jelly soon because I've got that juice frozen from last year. And so I'm going to have to go ahead and use it up because there'll be more passion fruits this year, hopefully. And so I'm going to have to make some passion fruit jelly. But I'm behind in a few tasks. I got some stuff stacked up right here. I've got to get some stuff organized. I've just really been busy, and I've been hearing that a lot. Spring is a busy time of the year, isn't it? Donald likes his good and flavorful on the outside. Some of them don't like them quite as done. So I'm just trying to watch these and get them thoroughly done, but not as crispy. Donald really likes his meat with a crisp or a char on it. We'll get this going this morning, get these biscuits done. I'll take a minute and just drink my tea. I have not got into the spring decorating. I haven't got these curtains changed. I hadn't got the shower curtain changed. Still have the St. Patrick's Day shower curtain up. And I hadn't got a lot of my bunnies and things out for spring that I usually, in eggs and things like that I put out at springtime, because I've just been doing some heavy duty task work, just getting some tasks that need to be done. Now it's spring. There's very few times as exciting as spring. It's beautiful. Everything's busting out. I've got to do a garden tour with you, but I don't have a garden tour planned. But I will share with you what's coming out. I'll give you some sneak peeks. The jasmine is blooming. Those tulips that I love so much are blooming. None of the ones that I planted last year are coming up. Oh, well, I see some tulip leaves, but they're not big enough to really produce anything right here. Those are the ones I bought from Sam's. I see another one over there. But these are the ones that I have that's come back every year, and they are pretty. I really like the two-tone colors that some of them have. Some of them are just the orangey red, and some of them have a little yellow around. And I had these so long, I can't even tell you the name of them, but they sure are pretty. They sure are a bright spot in the garden. The daffodils have already came and gone. Just a few left. And they're come and gone before Easter. I've got some great hyacinths that'll be up before long, and some other things. I'll share with you those as they come up. The roses are coming. Flowers on the roses are coming out. I don't see any black spots so far, and I am so thankful for that. You know, we had some black spot on our roses, and these roses we've had the whole 40 years we've lived here, and we did not want to lose our rose bushes. The periwinkle is blooming down here. That's a ground cover we put right here. We used to have flowers, but then as our gardens expanded, we just planted periwinkle in this area right here. It's got a pretty bloom on it. There's a clematis right here. Hopefully it'll come back without any problems. I am still going to plant this tree in this pot, but I've got to have a garden day to do that. The birds have been enjoying their bird bath so far. Got some dandelions coming up. You know, those are welcome in my garden because they're good medicine. Need to put some water in this bird bath, but this is just a sneak peek. And here's the surprise. This is the potting shed. It came in 2 boxes. Donald and one of my sons went and picked it up yesterday. This thing is very heavy. He's got it covered up with a tarp because we live in a neighborhood and he tries to keep everything covered up. But you can see it's in 2 boxes. I'll share you with that if they get to work on that today. He's got to go get some wood. And you know, I laid all these stepping stones, which I've got to clean all of the pine needles off. And I put stepping stones here so that you could... they're up under here, so that when that potting shed got here, it's going to go right here. Of course, he'll move that pallet, and that's where it's going to go, right here, our potting shed, so that we can put all of these things that we've got, all of the pots. These I'll be using to start the seeds this year, but all of these things right here can go in the potting shed. The peat moss, and this is the soil that stays out here that we use to pot, and this is my potting area, and it has vastly gotten overgrown. But I will be getting all this cleaned up. These are the starts for my friends. They wanted the camellia starts, and this is what's going on right here. I had to put them down on the ground because we had strong winds and it wanted to blow them away. But I'll get all of this cleaned up once I get this storage shed, which will be our potting shed over here. And we'll get that put together today. And we bought that at Sam's. Donald bought it yesterday and picked it up. And we got to get all of this gone through, cleaned up, and stored. Some of it we won't keep. A lot of it we keep and use. But all this has got to be cleaned up. My potting area has just got out of hand. So has many, many things here. But the spring is looking beautiful. The things here that's blooming out are beautiful. And there will be many, many more to come. Now these hanging baskets, I'll be doing a video with you on replanting these. Looks like something's come back in. Look, it's come back in the middle of that. And that's something. I'll have to cut that out and see what those plants are. And then there's 2 more hanging baskets here. Have to clean those up. I left those out this year just for the birds to pick the seeds and to pick whatever they wanted to build a nest. So that's why my garden looks a little rough sometimes. Sometimes I leave it for nature. There are things that are blooming out that are always a blessing. This camellia is probably coming to its end of bloom. It's still got some pretty blooms on it. But you know, it's the end of its season. You can see the blooms are starting to fall off. That honeybee, having him some breakfast right here. Not going to bother him. This bird bath needs to be cleaned out again. Of course, there's a lot of work. But I got to go back in there and get to my tenderloin and get to my biscuits for breakfast this morning. My tenderloin does not want to wait for me to do a garden tour. And the biscuits are still cooking. The tea is ready. And I am really itching to get outside and work out in the gardens. And there's a lot of stuff out there. Donald and I have a lot of interest. There's some camping stuff out there that has to be moved around. It'll be either donated or put in the back building if it's something that he's going to use again. He sometimes goes camping whenever he goes hunting, so that's the reason we've got a lot of that. We've got a lot of stuff in here a long time, and we just have to constantly keep it cleaned out and keep it going. So that's what's going on today. He's going to try to get that garden shed built, and I'll just show you some tidbits of that. I won't show you the whole build because, you know, that can be pretty boring unless you're building a shed and want to see exactly how it's done. And this is just going to be me sharing with you it going up. If you've been here with me on my channel, you know how excited I've been to get a garden shed to go there. I didn't know if Donald was going to build it from scratch, but as we were shopping at Sam's, we saw one that would cost in the budget about as much cheaper than, you know, maybe 10% cheaper than it would have cost if he built it from scratch. And hopefully this kit will be easier for him. So that's what's going on today. I'll try to share with you what I can. The little grandkids, you know, this busy season, I've got a granddaughter that dances. And so she's having her, I forgot what they're called when they get together at the end of the year and do all of the competitions. I think it's called competitions. So she's got a lot going on. They're away with that. And so I'll be taking care of the two. They'll be spending the weekend with me. They spent the night last night. We had a really good time. They were so sweet. You know, Grandma's got to do a little bit of spoiling. Let them stay up a little bit later and just hang out and talk with them. David was telling me all about his designs and his plans. He is amazing. You watched my video where I made the homemade pest control for ants and other pests, but mainly for ants. I have ants that come in spring every year, and we don't put anything outside for those ants because our kids love the lizards. They absolutely love those little blue-tailed lizards. I'm not sure what they're called, but we have some of those, and they love to watch them. And so we don't put anything, we don't put any poison outside for those ants. But I do make a natural poison control in here, a pest control solution that's, let's see, what is it? It's just sugar and borax and hot water, and you blend those together. And I do that on one of my videos, these few videos past, when I showed you that I had ants. There was an ant colony outside, and it was trying to come in to the house. So I was having little sugar ants. That's what we called them growing up. Not sure what they technically are, but they were just real tiny little ants. You can see one right here. So we had those little sugar ants, And I cannot stand anything like that in this kitchen. Absolutely nothing like that. And so, while I love the lizards, I am not going to allow them to crawl around in my kitchen. This is vinegar, and I'm not sure what else is in this. I think it's just mainly vinegar and water. Got a cleaner. I've got all my, I had to pull out all of my spring cups. So I've got them out here. This one's so cute. Very sweet. It's a Rae Dunn. I've got a little granddaughter who has Down syndrome and autism. She's our oldest grandchild. And she always says, "Oh, Grammy, very sweet." And so when I saw that, it made me think of her, and I got that. And of course, I've had these spring ones that I'm drinking out of for a few years, and I drag them out every spring. And I like this cup right here. But I've got to wash all these because I'll be using all of these this spring. So I'll just switch over, you know, from the winter ones that we have. And that's why all these cups are in here. And then I'll have to wash them all up and put them so they'll be ready to use. And of course, this morning I'm using this spring one. I'll have to change the shower curtain to a springy one. I still got the St. Patrick's Day shower curtain up. That will not be a problem. I pulled out some of the things. Now, this is the William Morris shower curtain I was telling you about that I bought from, let's see, was it TJ Maxx or Home Goods? Excuse me. I'm not sure if this was TJ Maxx or Home Goods. I bought it maybe 2 years ago. But William Morris he was a wallpaper designer in the 1800s, and his stuff has really made a huge comeback for its authentic antique look, and it's just simple beauty. I bought this shower curtain. I love the blue one. I love the blues, but this one I felt like matched the bathroom better because I have brown on the bottom of the chair rail, and this had some brown in it. Here's the bathroom. I still got the St. Patrick's Day shower curtains up and towels and all the things that I put out for St. Patrick's Day, which wasn't that much. I just put a few things out. But I'm going to take this down today, and I'm going to put the new stuff up. But you can see right here, it looks kind of reddish, right? This. But there is brown. There is brown in this bathroom right here. You can see right here, behind here. And so I just thought this shower curtain would look better in here with this brown than the blue one. So I got this one. And here's the William Morris hand towels I put out for spring. And I thought I'd put these out to match with this shower curtain. It's not a perfect match, but it's both a William Morris print. So that's what I'll be changing the bathroom shower curtain to. Now I have a huge shower curtain collection. This here is just a real pretty striped, red and white striped shower curtain. That's really pretty and refreshing. I've got these curtains that go in there on the, you know, the French doors that go outside. And these Pioneer Womans, these are simple, really pretty. I thought about putting these in there in the kitchen because they sure do look like spring and summer. So I might use those in there in the kitchen. And then this is a piece of material I've had for a long time. I mean, I've probably had this piece of material for 20 years. And it's just, it's lovely. I'm going to do something with it. It's just one panel. I don't have anywhere I could use one panel. But these are blue and white that I've had for a long time too. And I put these in the kitchen. Not in the kitchen, in the living room. I usually replace these after Valentine's Day and put these something different up. I have a variety. I have a collection that goes in here interchangeably. And you know, when you get really good quality curtains and linens, and see, those would look good up there. So I hadn't decided what I'm putting up there yet. I have some spring jabot curtains that have purple in them, but they have blue and stuff in them too. I don't use a lot of purple in my decor. I do love reds and orangey tints. I have some of that in here. So I'm not sure what curtains I'm going to put back in here, but whatever I decide, I'll do that on the day that I decorate for spring. Even though spring is already here, I'm going to combine spring and Easter decorating together, and I'll share that with you when I do that. I notice that people really enjoy whenever you share how you change things up in your house. It gives them ideas, maybe inspiration, and it makes them want to change some things up or not, just watch you and appreciate what they have. But either way, I'll include you when I start that spring decorating. I've come back in to put another layer of sunscreen on. I'm going to use this Ultra Sheer Dry Touch Sunscreen 70 SPF 70 this morning. I've already got some sunscreen on, but I'm going to put more on because that's the #1 way to prevent aging and skin cancer. So I'm going to make sure I got my sunscreen on, and then I'm going to go out in the backyard and see what the men are going to do while we let the biscuits bake. When the biscuits get finished, it'll be time to eat. Well, they're ready. We've got the biscuits, the butter and the jam, the jelly. What is this, jam or jelly? Preserves. And then we've got the tenderloin. It's time to get something to eat. Well, there's the jelly and the butter biscuit. It looks good. It's amazing how something as simple as biscuits and preserves and butter can taste. It's delicious. And then we have the tenderloin. So everything was really good. We've had a good morning. I hope you're looking forward to spring as much as I am, and us doing gardening things outside and getting things done around here. Thank you for joining me. And like always, until next time.